Welcome back to Cheaper Pop Culture, the only show on the internet that never meant to hurt you and hopes that you do find happiness one day, but is going to have to ask for the ring back so it can give it to Epic Mealtime. I'm your host, David Lee. Now, speaking of over-the-top performances and food and odd pairings, would you believe that the WWE and cooking have actually crossed paths on multiple occasions? Well, of course you would, because wrestling has crossed paths with just about everything at this point. But I would like to talk about one very specific country western mashup of WWE and the Food Network, because today's subject is... On November 11th, 2009, Food Network aired a special episode of Dinner Impossible featuring the WWE. Now, if you're not familiar with the show, here's how it works. The show Dinner Impossible, not the WWE. I assume you know how that works because, well, you're watching this channel. And also, WWE is not a show, it's a promotion. But anyway, Dinner Impossible was hosted by one Chef Robert Irvine, a bizarrely muscular chef who could be a wrestler himself. Well, there's a gimmick for you. Now, Irvine would get hit with bizarre catering challenges. Like what, you ask? What kind of bizarre challenges? Well, like having to make dinner for 300 SummerSlam VIPs with a menu inspired by the moves of WWE Wrestlers, and he only has 9 hours to do it. The episode started off with Robert Irvine meeting with The Big Show, who's there because, well, he's a wrestler, and with Stephanie McMahon because she likes attention. From there, Irvine gets brought into his kitchen where he'll be working and is introduced to his helpers, The Miz and good old JR, Jim Ross. Oh, and he also has a bunch of chefs there too, but their existence is going to get downplayed so that way this dinner can seem a lot more stressful. Once he gets settled, Irvine plots out his menu with the WWE guys there to help explain what these moves are to him and, well, also probably the really confused Food Network audience who have no idea what's going on. Now, I don't know about any of you, but personally, I find it really awkward when wrestling people have to explain wrestling moves to non-wrestling fans while they're still trying to keep kayfabe going. I mean, you just have to sit there watching the wrestler trying to convince the guy that it's painful. Meanwhile, you know the non-wrestling fan is just thinking to themselves, oh, all this crap is fake anyway.
The skull-crushing finale.
Yeah.
That's my finisher.
Oh, like
Full Nelson, so I'd take you like that, and then I'd front sweep you right to your face.
But yet, no one is saying anything about it. They're just trying to get it over with. It's like having to watch a loveless marriage that's just going through the motions. Makes me uncomfortable. But after that is when the real kayfabe fun begins, because The Miz, being no stranger to reality TV, starts acting like a total jackass. I know he was in the real world, not jackass. I wasn't making a pun, it's just... Anyway, I guess the reason why he's doing this is because he has to keep up with people's expectations of how wrestlers are supposed to behave outside of the wrestling ring.
It takes a long time, don't you think? I mean, why not just do it this way? And just like rip it off. Go for this like that. See this?
How are they gonna eat that? The phones.
Done.
Or maybe this is just what Food Network and WWE think non-wrestling fans expect? I don't know. Either way, it's stupid.
Who's your son's favorite wrestler?
That's Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, he might have beaten you a few times.
You go home
He's
to your
very
son
different. Yeah.
and you say, The Miz has a message for you.
Yeah.
I'm The Miz.
Yeah.
And I'm awesome.
However, don't feel too bad for Chef Robert Irvine because he eventually will get another helper, Gail Kim. And what's special about this interaction on TV is that this is the first meeting between Robert Irvine and Gail Kim, and the two would eventually get married in real life. So I guess that's worth putting up with The Miz for a little while. But you know how in War Games or the Royal Rumble, the bad guys always seem to outnumber the good guys whenever there's an odd number in the ring? Well, apparently the same rules apply here. Because as soon as the smitten Gail Kim shows up, JR has to cut and run.
WWE Hall of Famer JR is leaving the building, in the kitchen.
Meanwhile, he is Robert Irvine's most competent WWE staff member in the kitchen. And not only that, but after JR leaves, Santino Marella shows up to join in the party. And after seeing this exchange, I never thought I'd say this, but I'd much rather Chef have been a former IC champ. Oh yeah, and then this happened.
How about that?
Oh, that's cool. Hey, you know what? One thing I like about pastries that's the best is...
Okay, between the sitcoms Kitchen Confidential and Emerald, have you ever noticed that cooking-based comedy shows never work? Well, I say the reason is because that shows like these always fail to capture either audience that they're aiming for. Culinary people won't find these weak-ass food jokes funny, nor will they want to sit through being talked down to as the show has to explain restaurant terms to noobs. Meanwhile, the non-cooking people in the mainstream aren't gonna find these lame-ass food jokes funny either, so nobody really wins. And with all that being said, I think this rule goes double for the bizarrely specific genre of wrestling/food comedy. Because just look at it. I'm pretty sure non-wrestling fans don't believe that wrestlers actually act like this in real life. And in terms of WWE fans, we know that The Miz and Santino aren't really this stupid. Alright, well, at least I don't think they are. let's just move on.
Shawn Michael is from Texas and is a big fan of barbecue. So I decided to make barbecue shrimp over roasted corn salad.
Boo! F that dish! Boo! Waste a good shrimp! I bet it sucks!
The hot wings are in honor of John Cena. Against the Miz's wish, they're going to be a knockout.
You want to do Cena wings? Let's do something that put the bad taste in your mouth.
Oh, what's wrong? Couldn't think of anything to do with moves called the FU, the STFU, or the masturbation reference that is the five-knuckle shuffle? Well, I guess that's probably for the best. Oh, but then another signature of the show, at the very last minute, one more curveball just has to happen as Chef Irvine gets a half hour shaved off of his time and then he has to go into panic mode. Although not really, because everything works out fine. Episode ends with a mission accomplished. Yay! Now, I do want to say that I really do like this show, and I also really like Chef Robert Irvine, and I do want to go back to the idea of him being a wrestler. Because, well, he's a big guy, he's married to a wrestler, and as some of you may know that he actually got kicked off of Food Network for a little bit because he embellished his resume, so I guess he's used to maintaining kayfabe. Anyway, that does it for this one. Next time, we eat a wrestling ring.